I have been in this industry. I want to tell you this so that you understand where I come from. I've been in this industry for just over 8 years. I've personally sold over 1,400 accounts. I've overseen more than 12,000 total in my years operating with other companies and such. And I say that because it brings me to my next point. You're all here and you've taken this huge step, right? I'm going to try something new. I'm going to come out and I'm going to get into solar. And solar itself, the problem is it can be daunting. Like people got to go, oh my gosh, I don't know anything about it. So how can I go out and talk about it to people? And so what I want to do today is I want to give you some simple but effective talking points that you get to utilize when you speak to somebody for the first time so that they are interested, they lean in, and they want to speak to you about solar so we can set an appointment, show them the amazing opportunity, and hopefully get them to fruition and put panels on their roof. Um, the thing about solar is not mainstream yet. Everybody's seen it. Everybody's heard of it, right? Everyone's driven by a home, seen solar on the roof. We've heard it. We've seen it on TV. We know what solar is, but the reason that a lot of people are standoffish about it is because since you don't know enough about it, it's scary. Well, what if I get the wrong solar? What if I don't get enough solar? What if I get too much solar? What if I pay too much? Should I pay for it cash? Should I finance? There's all these questions that come up. We want to simplify it. And so in all my years, the one thing I know for sure is that most of the time we overcomplicate what solar is and what it does. So I'm going to simplify it and give you some really, really great points that you're going to get to utilize to get people interested. So I'm going to start with the first one. Power is measured in kilowatt hours. Everyone who has a power bill, it's measured in kilowatt hours. Now, we don't need to get technical. We just need to know how we're getting charged for the power we consume in our house. Kilowatt hours. It's this many kilowatt hours at this rate. And we pay a rate which could range anywhere from, let's say, 7 cents per kilowatt hour to as high as places in California at 60 cents per kilowatt hour, which is outrageous. Now that we know how power is charged, we could create a really, really easy talking point to get somebody interested. So for instance, Michelle, I'm going to ask you a simple question. Let's say you don't own a house. Let's say you've never even seen a power bill out. But I say, hey, Michelle, you're paying for power and your power ranges between, I don't know, 12 cents. It could be 25 cents per kilowatt hour. Let's say it's 20 cents per kilowatt hour, Michelle. If I was able to show you power, the same power you get now at 18 cents per kilowatt hour, would that make sense to you that that's a better idea?
Yes.
Yes, it's less than what you're paying today for the exact same power. So that's a great idea. So we've already established together that solar is probably a good idea if it could be a little less. Now I have another question for you, Michelle, and here's a really simple one. If you could decide where your power comes from and what you pay for it, would that give you a better feeling than having somebody else tell you how much it costs?
Yes.
Absolutely. You can take control of your power. That's a great talking point. Would you like to take control of your power and decide where it comes from and what you pay for it?
Yes.
Fantastic. I'll tell you what, all I need is a picture of your power bill. If I have that, we're going to set up an appointment and somebody's going to spend 30, 45 minutes to talk to you about solar and see if it makes any sense for you. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, you didn't lose out on anything. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Fantastic. That's great. Now let's talk about Florida, another talking point. Florida, last I checked, has some bad weather once in a while. Last I checked, once in a blue moon, right? Well, a common thing that happens out there, and Dale, he smiles, he's in Florida. What happens, and hey, Dale, come on here. What happens when one of those light storms come through? What happens to the power most of the time for a set amount of time?
It goes out. You lose
It goes out. Oh my gosh, how annoying would that be? Your power is out. You don't know when it's going to come back on. You have food. You want to stay warm or cool, whatever the case may be, lights, phones, charge, anything like that. Now, Dale, I have a question for you. If you were able to have a battery that kept your home running in one of those horrible storms, and that battery was able to be recharged with the solar panels on your roof that you own, would that interest you to have that kind of control over where your power comes from and the peace of mind knowing you'll have power in one of those storms that's probably going to show up again?
Yeah, sure. I wouldn't have to worry about the food in my fridge anymore.
That would be fantastic. We get to know, we get to eat and charge our phone and maybe turn the air conditioner on or the heat on, whatever the case may be. I'll tell you what, why don't you give me a picture of your power bill? I'm going to set an appointment and somebody is going to talk to you for 30, 45 minutes to see if solar makes any sense for you. And if it does, great. And if it doesn't, hey, no big deal. You didn't lose anything. How does that sound?
Sounds good. Sounds great.
Fantastic. So what we want to try to do, guys, is we want to simplify what we're trying to put out there. You never want to go sell solar right out of the gate. I've been doing this a long time. The first time I meet somebody and I talk to them about solar, I don't go into everything the solar is going to do, where it's going to go on the roof, what's the rate they're going to pay, how they should finance it. We can go on and on and on. We don't want to do that. We want to start with the most simple fact. If you could pay less for the same power you get today, would you be interested? Absolutely they would. Nobody's going to say, no, I like to pay more. If you could determine where your power comes from and what you pay for it, would you be interested? Well, no, I wouldn't. I don't want to do that. I want to have somebody else determine what I pay for it, wherever it comes from. Right. If you could have power in the case of a power outage, a storm, things like that, to ensure your family is warm, cool, your phones are charged, lights are on, would you be interested? Well, of course they would. Great. Why don't you give me a picture of your power bill? That'll let me know what kind of system to design for you. We'll take 30 to 45 minutes to see if solar makes any sense for you at all. That's how easy it is to set up an appointment. Now, the thing you need to do is you've taken the first step getting here. You must take the second step. Every single homeowner that you know or that you've met or that you come across is somebody who could benefit from solar. I'm going to tell you a quick story, and Michelle and Dale, they've heard it before, and a few other people have heard it, but I'm going to tell you a story again. This happened a few years back. We have a grocery store called Fry's here. I'm in Arizona. We have a grocery store called Fry's, and I was wearing my solar shirt, my polo, just got done working at the office, and I'm checking out in the checkout line, and the cashier looks at me, and she says, oh, do you work in solar? And I'm looking down at the little keypad. I go, oh, yeah. And I look back down, just kind of blow it off. And I immediately go, wait a minute. And I go, maybe I should ask her this question. I go, hey, do you own your home? She goes, yeah, I do. I go, oh, well, why don't we take 30 to 45 minutes and see if solar makes any sense for you? She goes, I would love that. We've been talking about it. That sounds great. I go, perfect. What's your phone number? I went there that night and she bought a system from me. The point is, the opportunities are there, but they're only there when you're looking. Every single homeowner has the potential to benefit from solar. It is a very rare occasion that solar will not work or benefit a homeowner. The amount of people that won't benefit from solar is so small that we don't even care and talk about it. If you have a home and you buy power, solar will benefit you. Now, last I checked, most people that have a home buy power. Most. There's not all, but 99.9% buy power. So they're going to benefit from it. So let's get their bill. They don't need to commit to anything. Let's just talk. And I always say, let's see if solar makes any sense for you. We know it's going to make sense, but you tell them, let's see if it makes any sense for you. And it shouldn't take any time at all. And if it doesn't, hey, no big deal. You didn't lose out on anything. It's such an easy way to go about it to get people interested and get them to that next step. Let's not worry about what it's going to take. Let's not worry about financing. Forget all that. We'll get there. Let's just make sure it makes sense for you. And if you take those small steps, you'll go really far. Now, the other thing you want to make sure you do is you don't want to downplay the appointment that you set with this customer. You don't want to make it like, yeah, whatever. What's a good time for you? That's the place you don't want to go, because now the appointment doesn't have value. What you say is, our representative is going to put together a design specifically tailored for your home and your lifestyle. Now, when they get on, they're going to want to ask a lot of questions to ensure that they've put everything together correctly. So it's going to be really important that you and any other decision makers there so that we can get all the information we need. So does tomorrow at 5 p.m. work for you and everyone in the home? And I've actually said before, like, and make sure the kids are there too, because they're going to love to see the design and stuff like that. Get the whole family involved. The point is, make it an event. Don't make it passive. Make it an event that matters. People will show up. They'll be excited. They're going to have a good time. It's not a sales pitch thrown at them like, hey, buy now. No, we have fun. We talk. We get to know each other. We as salespeople need to know how they operate in their home to build to put together an effective program to benefit them the most. So we're going to get to know them. We're going to laugh and have a lot of good times. It's just important that you put some value on that appointment. You also put some great value in the appointment to say, hey, if something comes up and it's an emergency, I always say it's an emergency and you need to reschedule, let me know so we can do so. What you don't want to say is, hey, if anything comes up, let me know and we reschedule it. Again, we took the value away from that appointment. We want to create that appointment. We want to solidify that appointment, make sure they're going to be there and everyone's going to be there. Solar is simple, and you can keep it simple but create great value. So to recap again, would you like to pay less for the same power you're receiving today? Yes, then let me have your power bill. Would you like to determine where your power comes from and what you pay for it? Yes, let me see your power bill. Would you like to have power in the times when power is not available from the utility company? Yes, let me get a copy of your power bill. Let's set a time and let's make solar work for you.